Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Business Networking and Intelligence Podcast hosted by OutsourcingHelpers.com and WingedHuman.com. My name is Yagnesh, and I'm the COO of both these entities. Now, if you were to ask a seasoned business owner, what does it take to make it big? You'll probably hear 2 points: a long-term commitment to the business, as well as the right guidance to market the business. Well, today we are interviewing a business coach whose goal is to help serious business owners generate more clients, close more sales, and increase their overall revenue and profits, and more importantly, quickly and inexpensively. So without further ado, let's meet Ross Pantell, founder and CEO of GuaranteedBusinessGrowth.com and GuaranteedBusinessGrowthAcademy.com. Ross, welcome to the podcast, and thank you for agreeing to speaking to us at such a short notice.
Hi, Yagnesh, and thank you as well. It's been an honor and a privilege to get to know you and your team, and I look forward to future opportunities with you and your organization. This has been a great opportunity, and what I would like to do is just give you a quick synopsis of who I am and my background, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Basically, I've been in the apparel garment manufacturing trade for over 30 years, and I would travel anywhere from Asia to the Indian subcontinent, your neck of the woods, to Central America and the Caribbean, where I'd be involved in executive areas of manufacturing operations.
Okay.
And from that perspective, what's very important is the fact that what I've learned through traveling overseas as well as domestically, the key parts of business, and I do concentrate on small businesses through Guaranteed Business Growth. What I found is that marketing is very important as well as operations.
Mm-hmm.
And through my 30 years, I work with small businesses as well as large billion-dollar corporations.
Mm-hmm.
And going through factories, going through businesses, I always had the inspiration to get my hands dirty and understand how things work.
Okay.
And through that, 2 years ago, I started my own business, Guaranteed Business Growth, where I work strictly with these small businesses. They can range anywhere from $100,000 in revenue up to $5 million. And that's the sweet spot, even though I've worked with larger companies and higher revenues, but that's the sweet spot because I'm dealing strictly with the owner.
Got it.
And I find when you're dealing with the owner, you can get things happening a lot quicker, less levels to get involved with.
Okay.
So I started doing that, and I found that it's urgent, especially what's going on in the world today between COVID and just the way everything's going on. Marketing has taken a shift, and it's no fault of the business owner. Okay, and I'll get into this in a little bit, but the way we're marketing today it doesn't do anyone any good. Obviously, the owners who are spending money are losing money because they're not getting the return on their investment.
Correct. While I was going to the website, I did come across a marketing evaluator. And some of the questions on the evaluator definitely look intriguing, and I'll definitely want the audience to take a look at it as well. So is that something that a typical business owner who wants to collaborate with you is recommended to go through before coming to you, so that he sort of is prepared on what is it that his current strategy is looking at?
Well, no, this is what I would use to evaluate a company's website.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'll do is I'll explain, first of all, the conversion equation, okay?
Uh-huh.
And this is something that's been around since the 1800s. And actually, we call it the conversion equation, but years ago it was called AIDA, which is attention, interest, desire, and actions. And this is back in the 1800s.
Interesting.
And what happened is once the advent of TV, and you all of a sudden companies have commercials,
Mm-hmm.
the commercials had to be reduced from 2 minutes down to 30-second spots.
Oh.
And because of that, they went from an educational information ad to a branding ad. So this is why small business owners and even large corporations lose the concept of what the conversion equation is. And that's where we interrupt, we educate, we interrupt, we engage, we educate, we offer. And I'll explain that.
Sure.
What we do not do, and you could look at any two websites, they could be two chiropractors, they could be two doctors, they could be two landscapers, they could be two roofers, two contractors. You look at this two different ones and they're all the same. They're asking you to call for a consultation, and to be honest, less than 1% of the population that's looking at your business is ready to buy. That's called now buyers. They're impulsive buyers. So more than 99% of the people are not ready to buy. They're looking for information. So when you look at these websites and you're asking people to call you for a consultation, more than 99% of the people are going to leave because they do not want to be called. They're just looking for information. So you have to get in the head of what your potential client is thinking of at that time. And there are two things. One is they have a problem which they do not want. And two is there's a result they want which they do not have. That's the big thing about the conversion equation. So once a business, and I train the business owners to think this way, once you're able to solve those two questions and problems and results, you'll have more business than you ever dreamed of. And it's a lot easier than people ever thought of. So what happens is I go through that evaluation form and I look at someone's website, and the interrupt has to immediately is your headline, and that has to address the problem your client or potential client has that they do not want.
Okay.
Your engage is your sub headline, which addresses the results they want which they do not have. So that is automatically hitting the hot buttons of a potential prospect, where now they're engaged and they're saying, okay, you've got my attention. I do have this problem. I do want this result. Now you have to educate them. You have to tell them why you're the company I should be going with. What makes you stand out from the crowd? What is your market dominating position? Okay. And then your offer has to be so compelling that all they have to do is put their name and email, and they receive this offer or this information that they're looking for without triggering someone to call you. And that's what we do. And instead of doing a full website, we now target it with a squeeze page, which is a one-page document where someone will go online and they could do one of two things: either click out of it or put their name in and their email, and they receive that information for free.
Oh.
Based upon reviewing that information, will now trigger them to say, wait a minute, this person knows what they're talking about, and so far everyone else I went to does not explain it this way. I'm going to now contact them for a consultation.
Gotcha.
And without the conversion equation, the average touch point could be from 20 to 100 times. And what I mean by touch points could be emails, phone calls, text messages, Instagram, Facebook, any type of communication to a potential client. You have to look at it 20 to 100 times before you make a decision to buy. But when you use the conversion equation, it drops down to 5 to 12 times.
Okay.
So that's now saying that your customer today is not ready to buy, but if you follow up with them, and again, follow up with them, in a month they may be ready to buy, or 2 months. But without the conversion equation, they're just going to go to your website, look at it. I don't want to buy yet. I'm not ready. I'm looking for information. I'll go somewhere else. And you never know they touched your website.
Correct. You're right.
So I use that form to evaluate their website. And the form, you need to have a 3% or plus, or 3 points or higher, up to 5, in order for that to say, okay, your conversion equation is working, your website is good. Most of the ones I come to and I go through are less than 1 point.
Wow.
So that's how bad it is.
Interesting. Now,
and when you have the same website, now I apologize, this is the last statement, you could ask the next question.
Sure.
When you have the same website as a competitor, and you're asking them to call you and you don't give any information, all you're doing is competing on price.
Correct.
So you say, I get the best price, I'll meet the best price, here's a discount 40%. I tell people you're insane. Dropping your price 10% means you have to do 50% more sales just to break even.
Exactly.
And then they wonder why their margins are low and they can't stay in business.
Now, for someone like me who's read a little bit about marketing when I did my post-graduation, what you explained was extremely informative. I would say it sort of reaffirmed what I had learned a few years back. But when you deal with business owners who probably not are as well read and probably haven't touched upon these topics, what is that key challenge that you face in getting through these basics to them and convincing them that they have to change?
You want to know something? And great question. And I'll answer it in two ways. Number one is that today the biggest challenge due to COVID, I'm the type of person I like to walk into someone's business and see them face to face.
Gotcha.
I think it's a lot more. And again, I come, I'm not a millennial, and I'm not saying millennials are different than baby boomers or Generation Y. But the way I've been brought up is, you see someone looking face to face and you can really see, as they say, if your stomach feels good when you're talking to someone, then you feel good. If it doesn't feel good, it's not a good opportunity.
Okay.
So basically what that is, with COVID, I have to do cold calls. I have to send emails out. And there are too many people who are looking to make money on someone's problems or issues due to COVID.
Okay.
So the first thing is you have to get through the gatekeeper. You have to get to the owner and explain what you're doing and why you're different from the competition who's trying to make money on your company. So the key here is once I do get them and I take them through a 45-minute to a 60-minute presentation, because what I do is I could guarantee that I'll find them anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000 of additional revenue.
Wow.
In under 45 minutes without costing a cent in marketing or advertising. And I say, I guarantee it. Okay, so what I do is I sit down with them, and what I have is called the Profit Acceleration Software. And what I do is I ask the first question, which is, what is the biggest problem or challenge you're facing today?
Interesting.
And it could be with any small business going through COVID or in generality, they need more leads. They need more customers. You don't want to have one customer more than 15% of your revenue. So they want more customers. So I understand where they need to go. And this process, I ask detailed questions, and then I go through and I ask them, based upon doing this, and if you have a market dominating position, and we create it, and the market dominating position is what you say, okay? When somebody asks you, what do you do? And like me, I say I can uncover $10,000 to $100,000 in any business in under 45 minutes without costing a cent in marketing or advertising.
Correct.
So that intrigues them. They say, how do you do that? All right. Whereas if you say, hey, I'm a marketing expert and let me show you what I do, someone's going to run for the hills because you're trying to sell them. I'm not trying to sell anyone. Oh. Basically, what happens is when I sit with an owner and I go through and I ask them these bullet point questions, it's evident that the owner, whether they make pizza, whether they're a restaurateur, whether they're a landscaper, whether they're a doctor, a lawyer, chiropractor, whatever, their expertise is in their business.
Okay.
Marketing is not their expertise, as well as business operations is not their business. So I educate them on the marketing. I also educate them on financials, okay? I educate them that, you know what, okay, how much money do you have in the bank? I have X amount. Okay, if I divide that by, what your expenses are, you have enough money to last you X amount of months.
Interesting.
Most small businesses can last 2 weeks. That's
Agreed.
why small businesses are hurting.
Yes.
So what I do is not only fix their marketing, but then I say, guess what? We're going to set up a separate account where you're putting money away until you get to the point where you have enough money for 16 months.
Wow.
That way, if anything happens in the future, like a COVID, you'll be prepared. You won't be sacrificing your business or your employees or whatever. You'll be in a better position. And they say 16 months, that's a long time, but it takes time.
Agreed. Now, You mentioned that during your discussion with the business owner, you to a certain extent guarantee them to generate an X dollar amount in terms of additional business. Does that put some pressure on you that now that I've guaranteed something, I have to deliver? Is there a pressure to deliver in such situations?
You want to know something? There's no pressure on my point, because this marketing and profit acceleration software, where I use a small percentage, okay? I may use 3 to 10%, okay? Very small percentage. In areas, it could be more leads, more conversions, more transactions, higher prices, and more profits. Those are the 5 strategies that I've created, or formulas, which encompass 8 different strategies. And those strategies are advertising, joint ventures, okay? You have drip campaigns, you have cross-sell, upsell, downsell, you have added products, you have higher prices. There are different areas, and business owners do not understand it. They think, I can't raise my prices. I haven't done it in 5 years. And I tell them, if you raise it 5%, do you know what that means? Do you think people are going to leave you by raising your price 5, 10%? The key, what people will do is pay more money if they get a higher value of a product.
Okay.
Being the cheapest is raising a red flag saying, wait a minute, why are you the cheapest?
Correct.
And those are your price shoppers. Those are the ones that make up less than 1%.
You're right.
So guaranteeing them this amount, I'll find it in one process. And then they say, wait a minute, just this one process took me less than 10 minutes to explain. And all of a sudden I found them $30,000 by doing this one process. They're like, whoa. So it's not hard.
Interesting.
The hard part is, and I don't convince, the information does it for me.
Okay.
And I work with them, which is best that they could sleep at night and not worry about what they need to do the next day.
Wow. Now that is a very different strategy that I have never come across, and I can definitely say thank you for sharing that. Well, not in detail, but definitely enlightening us, and that is more important. Now, before I get to my next question, one last question on this point. We've spoken about you trying to help business owners in reinventing, if that's the right word to use, the way they present their website, or probably a different landing page or a different marketing campaign. Do you also assist them with the social media marketing, which is the pay-per-click campaigns and designing campaigns on Facebook or for Google or for Instagram, and even for businesses which are in consumer-facing businesses which are on Pinterest? So have you also ventured on the social media part, or do you still only consult on the traditional modes of marketing?
No, actually, and it's a valid point. And the first thing I need to mention is you say reinvent. And that is crucial. In today's society, no matter who you are, what size business, you always have to be thinking of inventing, okay? And I'll answer your question in 1 second. And that's why I'm a big follower of Jeff Bezos, okay? From his business strategies, and I stress that, from his business strategies, because he looks out 10 years from now.
Correct.
And if he's implementing something, if he's starting to think of something, he thinks of it, what would it do in 10 years? So when he says Amazon's going to use drones to deliver packages, he thought of that many years ago, knowing that in 10 years, this is where it's going to be.
Correct.
So the small business owner doesn't have to think 10 years out, but they have to think forward. They can't think tomorrow. They have to think next year, the year after. So with that being said, my academy, okay, my e-learning center, my academy, we do everything from regular ads. We do Facebook ads, we do Instagram, we do social media, we do postcards, website pages. I have all the advertising, which is compelling offers, which deals with the conversion equation, the interrupt, the engage, the educate, and the offer. So when you mention social media, and which is very important, there's a pie chart that I show my clients, because the first thing they think of when they put a website together is I'm going straight to social media. I'll put it on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, all that. And when you see this pie chart, the first thing is fundamentals.
Correct.
No one realizes that if you go straight to a social media area and not have the fundamentals, which is the ground floor of your business, if that's not solid with strategies, with ways of handling processes and procedures, all right, that ground floor is going to be unstable and it's going to collapse. So what I do is I actually go into the emailing, I go into Facebook ads, I go into Instagram. But what we first do is create a strategy and a structure that your business will be solid no matter what type of advertising you're dealing with.
Fair point. Now, Ross, you do so much in your value proposition to people. What is the inspiration to do so much? What inspired you to start a venture that, while it makes money for you, but it makes far more money for your client? What is that inspiration behind starting this venture?
I look at it and I say, and it's very easy for me to say today because of the COVID and what small business are in. But the key is I like helping people. And people say this all the time, but the proof's in the pudding. The key here is small businesses, and I know here in the United States, in the fall, in the spring, we always have a small business Saturday where small businesses, people go out to help and sponsor them and go by there. And today it's a disaster all around the world. Small businesses are hurting so bad. They're in the fight of their lives. Okay. So if I can provide my techniques to businesses for free, that's what I'm doing. I'm providing my techniques, my marketing techniques for them. I'll show them what to do for free, and they could turn their business around and start making money. To me, I would, one, ask to use their results in an article I write for the Six Figure Coach magazine, or if I'm writing another book, or basically just giving me a testimonial or referral. And people say, you don't do it just for free. I'll be honest. There are companies out there that could say, hey, I'll take that information, I'll do it myself, and that's fair, okay? I'm willing to give it to them. But there are also people out there that say, listen, I'm too busy. I have no clue what I'm doing. Can I hire you to do it? And I will do it for them. And then I'll work with them on a price that fits their budget, and whether I get money up front and a percent on the back end, so I prove what I do and I put a plan together, or I just work on an upfront fee. I'm very, I'm very flexible, but my main focus is helping out the small business owner because they're desperate to survive. And I've dealt with people where, money affects family because you get into more arguments, or a kid can't understand why he can't get this or get that. The main thing is helping businesses survive, and that's why I do it.
Not a lot of people think like this. And I'd say thank you. Thank you for coming out. I would say generosity is the right word to use, because even though someone who would listen to the podcast may say he eventually charges fees, but I would still say for a small part of fees, he's helping someone survive, which is a far more better proposition than the little fee that one has to pay. So thank you on behalf of everyone who would listen to you and listen to what you just mentioned.
I appreciate it, Ignition. I just want to mention, people could say, yeah, I don't believe it. Hey, take me up on it. Contact me on my website or my email. I'll be more than happy to do an evaluation of your company. What I call is a COVID business checkup. I'll do this profit acceleration software for free. Since I'm coming on this podcast, normally I charge $2,500 for it.
Wow.
Since I'm on this podcast, anyone listening, I'll do it for free. And I'll show you how much I could save to you. And also this software, we'll put it into a priority, and then I'll show you there's an implementation, and it gives you a roadmap of what you need to do. Mm-hmm. So when I say I give it to them for free, I give it to them for free. They just have to be able to follow that process and do it themselves. Now, to be fair and upfront, most business owners don't have time to do it.
Okay.
And most business owners don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so that's where they say, how can I help you? This is how.
Gotcha. Now, there is one thing that I came across when I was checking your website, and that's the e-learning marketing system. Now, without spilling a lot of beans on the nitty-gritties of it and really opening up the secrets, what can you tell us more about this system that you've developed, which intrigued me when I went through it? But I definitely want to hear it from the horse's mouth, and as I said, without spilling the beans.
Sure, no problem. This is the e-learning center is my academy. This is where I do sign up people if they want to work with me, whether they don't have the money, I'll bring them in here for free.
Okay.
Even if they do pay me monthly fee, they get this. And this is a 52-week program.
Wow.
Each week you'll get a video and a process of something to do. And one thing I mentioned is a market dominating position.
Correct.
And that's what you must have in order to separate you from your competition. This is what you say in every part of advertising. This is what you say when someone asks you what you do. This is something that your employees say the same thing, so everyone's on the same page. So for me, like I mentioned, I could find any business $10,000 to $100,000 in under 45 minutes without costing a cent in marketing or advertising. That's what I say when someone asks me what I do. Okay? So this e-learning center is in addition, when I do the profit acceleration software and I look and they want more leads or they want, first thing I'll do is cut costs. Okay? Because there are areas where you could cut costs and it's not necessarily eliminating jobs or employees or reducing salaries. There are strategic things that you could do that no one's looking at. Case in point, do you ever look at your business insurance and see after year, could you get a better price on it or is it going up? Do you look at your credit card statements? Are you spending money on other things than what will drive sales or business? So when I look at this e-learning system, this is a full thing. It has everything from market dominating position, more leads, more higher prices, has radio ads, has TV ads, has scripts, also has advertising campaigns. I have $50,000 advertising campaigns, could be for a doctor, a chiropractor, lawyer. I have roofing, so all this ads, all I have to do is change it to the business and just change it slightly. But those compelling offers, that interrupt, that engage, those addresses the problem the prospects have that they don't want, and it addresses the results they want, which they don't have. That's all in my back library there. Wow. And it's for all these different industries. So they're getting a program that will immediately, the problem is there's so much information. Yeah. So I work with them and I say step by step, 1 week here, next week, because I understand they only have so much time in a week to do things because they're working on their business most of the time.
Wow. Now that's a lot of effort to put all of that together. On the website, I did see a tab that says Ask Ross, and there was a contact us page. According to you, which is the best way to get in touch with my marketing group? Should I go to should I go to the Ask Ross page, or should I go to the Contact Us page?
You could just hit the contact page, or you could go right to my email, which is I believe on the bottom there. You could just email me directly, whichever one someone wants to do, and just mention the podcast with you.
Gotcha.
Because that way I understand. So when someone does say, hey, I heard you on the podcast with Yang Nesh, then I know I can do, all right, let me set you up, do a profit acceleration software. Let's do a COVID business checkup, carte blanche.
Understood.
Well, and if they have any questions, I'm open. I'm transparent. I'm not looking. If someone has a question on their marketing today, wants me to look at it, I'll be up front and straight.
Wow. So here's to everyone who will tune into our podcast. Remember, make good use of the opportunity to contact a marketing guru who's willing, as I would say, to invest himself in your business so that you make money. Now, we've gone through a lot of discussions. We've fairly understood your offering in detail, but this is one question I typically ask everyone that I speak to. What is that 60-second elevator pitch that you typically would give to someone to start your conversation?
Well, the first thing I ask them, and again, after I tell them what I do, I'll say, what's the biggest challenge you're facing today in your business? And it comes out of left field, and a lot of people step back because, I don't know if I want to divulge that. I don't know who you are.
Oh, yeah.
But I said, listen, I'm a marketing expert. What's your biggest problem? I'll solve it for you right here and now.
That's confident.
All right. My problem is I need more business. I need more leads. I say, why is that? And I keep asking questions because I'm getting to that pain point. I'm getting to the point that is, you could say, yeah, I need more leads, but why do you need more leads? Well, so once I get to it, I can understand where they're coming from, and then I can address their problem. I dealt with a construction company, and they said their biggest problem is they can't get qualified workers to come work. I said, why is that? So, well, not many people are being trained anymore in construction in the U.S. They're all going to desk jobs or other things like that. And I said, well, why don't you set up a training school in your business? What do you mean? I say, well, why don't you train someone if you have the ability to get people to come in, set up a training school? Great publicity for you. You're now marketing, you're becoming a hero in your community. And at the end of the day, they're going to work for you. So train them your way. So something simple like that is not really hard. It's just having the person open up, not be embarrassed. I'm not here to embarrass anyone. I'm here to solve their problems.
Perfect. 2 last questions, and I will let the marketing guru be with his clients. My second last question, and you may choose not to answer this one because it may be a little awkward. But have you received a pushback from one of your clients when you engage them because you are so honest about your strategy, you're so honest about your evaluation?
Pushback because of that. I don't know if it's pushback or it's really their walls are up.
Got it.
Meaning that they still can't believe that I don't have an agenda. My agenda is helping them. And I work with someone, whether I'm working with them, and it's not that I work with them every day or every week if there's no fee involved. I'm working with them because I'm guiding them to get better and do what they need to do. The pushback I get is their, I should say, insecurities of letting down their hair, so to speak, or letting down their guard to admit that they don't know marketing or business. So in other words, if I say, you know what, how much did you make last year? Oh, we profited $100,000. I say, great. How much do you have in your bank? $10,000. So I said, you only did 10,000. What do you mean? I said, where's the 90,000? I said, did you put that back in your business like you should? Because when you make money, one way to solve taxes, and I talk about this too, is reinvest monies that you profit into your business so you don't pay the taxes on it. But if you take that and you say, oh, I went and bought a new car, then that's not the logical choice. So it's a little, because I'm transparent and honest, a lot of times people don't like that. They're not used to it.
Correct.
But after chipping, it's like you're chiseling or wood carving down to a figure. Once they see who I am and the fact that I am providing value to them and they're seeing the results, all of a sudden those walls come down and pretty quickly.
Interesting. And I had the question in different words, to be honest to you. But I sort of decided to change the words to the question because when I got to know you more through the course of this discussion, I realized that you're very, very honest. And like you said, not everyone really appreciates it in the very first go. People either take time or just decide, as you just said, keep the walls so high that you just can't penetrate them. And my final question to you. Someone who invests so much time in dealing with businesses definitely has a team backing him. And what is your view on outsourcing some of these activities to an overseas business? What is your opinion on that?
You want to know something? Outsourcing is becoming very, very popular. It is definitely needed. Obviously, here in the United States, especially what's going on in the world, we're all sitting home, we're working out of our house. And there are key areas that are prone to outsourcing. Mm-hmm. Number one, it's a smart idea for businesses. And believe me, I'm 100% business related. I believe in products being made around the world as well as in the US, because I deal internationally. The key here is what I look at, for instance, I am actually looking outsourcing for someone who could do calls to businesses for me, where I do, and I call them warm calls because I'm not calling and selling. I'm calling and advising them of what I do. because I'm looking to help them. I'm not calling to sell them encyclopedias or building materials. I'm here to help them solve problems. So I look for someone who I can outsource this. I have the list of customers. I give them the various speeches, and I'm looking for them to set up appointments for me throughout the week, where I could then strictly concentrate 100% on working with as many small business owners as possible. Also, every Tuesday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I have a virtual focus group. Okay. And this is where business owners may not be able to work with me one-on-one, where I can meet them. So I say, if you have 45 minutes, go on this call, this virtual focus group. You'll see what my business is all about, what I offer. And from that point, they may come in, and most times they do. I want to sign up for that profit acceleration software. I want that business evaluation done for me. So outsourcing, I agree 100%. Okay. It's very important, obviously, very important, which is crucial, is having people who understand what your goal is, being able to measure the results. 3 is communication. They have to speak English very well, because as you know, you don't want someone who's talking to someone can't understand them. But I find that when I do outsourcing, I make it, and this is my own philosophy, okay? People may want to be on an hourly commission, hourly rate, okay? I like to offer a different incentive, okay? I like to offer them, if you sign someone up for a one-on-one appointment with me or a virtual focus group meeting, and I sign that client, okay, and I get a monthly fee from them, I will give them 10% commission of my first monthly fee.
Wow. So
what that means is, and I'm very straightforward, if my average monthly fees are $5,000, that's $500 to them. Yeah. If it's $2,500, it's $250 to them. Okay. If it's $1,000, it's $100 to them. Okay, so it varies, because not everyone who's a $5 million company could afford the same amount as someone who's $100,000. So I don't want anyone to get scared that I charge $5,000 a month. That's not the case. Each company is different, but with outsourcing, I give them the incentive. This gives them the ability, okay, especially if they're in India, Pakistan, any of these areas where these outsourcing companies are from, gives them a lot of opportunity, a lot of confidence that basically I can make more money getting someone to the interview, so to speak, or the business evaluation, and it's up to me to sign them. And if for some reason someone doesn't want to sign, I still pay their hourly fee no matter what.
Wow.
But for me, I'd rather pay them the 10% my monthly fee than pay them the hourly fee, because there's a big difference. And you know that because you know what the rates are.
Agree. Ross, with this, my bag of questions, I've completely run out of the questions, because you've really let us into your world. You've really let us understand your value propositions, and I cannot thank you enough for doing that. And with this, we'll move towards wrapping up today's Business Intelligence and Networking podcasts. Once again, to everyone who will tune into this one and listen to this, one key takeaway for me from Ross is, if you need help, do not hesitate in asking for that. And remember, reach out to the best. And I'm probably saying this because today I heard someone who's really good at what he does. So do not hesitate in reaching out to the best, because you're someone who's willing to invest himself for you to succeed. So Ross, once again, thank you for sparing time and talking to me for this podcast. It was really informative and extremely insightful.
Yagnesh, thank you. Thank Donald. It's been a privilege talking to you. Any way I can help your organization out, I'm here. Please Absolutely. Don't hesitate. And if you could do one other thing, just put up my email again so people could either take a snapshot of it or write it down. Believe me, you know what? If you don't ask a question, you're not going to get an answer. So I've been trained that no question is crazy, no question is ill-advised. I'm here to help any small business or any business in that fact. Challenge me. I'm here to help. And again, Yangnesh, thank you for your time. And it's a privilege to speak with you.
Absolutely. And with this, folks, we wrap up our business intelligence and networking podcast, which is hosted by Outsourcing Helpers and wingedhuman.com. And thank you for tuning in. And Ross, thank you once again for sparing time to speak to us.
My pleasure.